Hello and welcome to The Big Fight. We spend hours and hours discussing and debating all sorts of issues. But at the end of the day, I have to say that most of them perhaps pale into insignificance compared to one particular statistic. There are still 400 million poor people in this country, at least. And about 180 to 200 million of them go to sleep hungry every single night. That is perhaps the single statistic that all of us as Indians should be the most concerned about. Now, once again, some attention has been focused on that by this entire debate over whether 32 rupees defines you for being below or above the poverty line, which we will take a look at, but also the overall question of what we can do to actually eradicate poverty. We have a great panel for you. Let me start from that side by Ritika Khera, economist, social activist, done a lot of work in this entire area of poverty. Fantastic to have you with us. M.K. Venu, managing editor of the Financial Express. Wonderful to have you with us as well. We have Prasenjit Bose of the CPIM. Thanks for being with us. Rajiv Pratap Rudi of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Sanjay Nirupam of the Congress Party joining us on satellite. And in just a couple of minutes, we are also going to be joined for an expert view by Professor Abhijit Sen, who's a member of the Planning Commission. Before we get into the overall question, though, of poverty and how we can deal with it, can I just get everyone's perspective on this one issue of whether 32 rupees makes you a day, makes you poor or not? Ritika, do you have a view on this? Why don't you kick off?
Well, certainly not, and I think it's not even worth debating to some extent. But let me start with a short quote from the Planning Commission's affidavit in the Supreme Court, which kicked off this debate. So they say the recommended poverty lines ensure the adequacy of actual private expenditure per capita near the poverty lines on food, education, and health. And what does this mean? This basically means that you can have tea once in 2 days. And, I can go on.
So basically what you're saying is that at 32 rupees a day per person, you cannot actually get food, education, health, and shelter.
No.
This 32 rupees a day for urban areas and 26 rupees a day for rural areas should at best be used only as an indicative benchmark. And this should not mean that there aren't poor
but
people.
It's an important benchmark because you give people BPL cards on the basis
No. It's not on this basis. In fact, for instance, the food security bill seeks to actually cover, and rightly so, about 70% of the population, is way above this benchmark. I think the example of the food security bill could be replicated in delivery of other services, public services, social services.
Okay. In the United States, there is not one poverty line. There are poverty thresholds. You can have different thresholds for India, but why not look at it from a more sensitive point of view of how people live? For a family of 5 and for a family of 4, you can't have the same poverty line.
It's strange to see the CPM quoting the United States as an example.
Follow the United States where they're good. Don't follow them where they're bad.
So $20,000, $20,650 is their poverty line. Now
threshold.
That obviously,
poverty threshold.
That would
PPP
make...
terms.
That is,
what does it come to? In PPP terms.
The problem there are 42% of the population is under $1.25 a day is World Bank's...
PPP dollars,
that's
so
PPP.
they are comparable.
PPP works out about 25 rupees. What is $1.25 in equivalent Indian rupee terms, about 25 rupees. So it more or less tallies with the Tendulkar.
We are getting mixed up at a particular point. When you say 32 rupees, this is a face-saving device of the government. It's a scale which they put. Once they put 32 rupees, it is about 40 crore people. The moment they put it 35, it is about 45 crore people. The moment they put it 38, 40, 42, the fact remains in last 10 years, in this tenure, more than 15 crore people have gone below the poverty line.
You're saying 150 million people have gone into poverty in the last 10 years.
And the moment you move the scale up from 32, 35, 38, 40, you will find the number of people coming below the poverty line is growing. Now, this is what we need to assess in this country is not this figure of 32, 33. First, in reality, go and assess how many people are actually poor.
Sanjay Nirupam, the question of 32 and also the assertion that Rajiv Pratap Rudi has made, which I'm sure you will take issue with, is it true that 150 million people have become poor since you have taken over?
At the outset, I will never support this poverty line determination thing like 32 rupees. Whoever is able to spend less than 32 rupees will be covered under BPL. I don't approve all these things. This is awful. One. Second point, the most important thing is these figures are coming out from planning. What is planning commission? Please, for the God's sake, don't see. Okay, can I continue?
Yes,
yeah,
you
please
can
continue. For once, Rajiv was interrupting you so politely that I didn't think you would get interrupted, but carry on.
See, the planning commission, I know 100% it's a part of our political establishment, but somehow, some sort of independent. Vikram, if Rajiv Pratap Rudi is going to interrupt continuously, I'm just walking out.
Yes.
I don't want to speak.
Exactly.
Because I don't
Rajiv,
want
can
to.
I-
I've not said anything.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You all are very great.
Sanjay, hang on. Sanjay, hang on. Rajiv is not interrupting you. Sanjay, Rajiv is not interrupting you.
हमने कुछ कहा ही नहीं. You see, the
Yeah,
facts
just
are
tell Sanjay to come. Rajiv, don't interrupt him. Sanjay, come back. Sanjay, let's now go across to Professor Sen, member of the Planning Commission. Professor Sen, we do want to have a slightly broader discussion on what can be done about poor. But first, the entire question of classifying who is actually poor. Is 32 rupees a day enough in urban areas for somebody to make ends meet? That's the big question.
Arjun Sengupta had done a calculation when, before the Tendulkar estimates came out, our official poverty lines gave 28% of the population as poor with 2004-05 data. Arjun Sengupta just doubled that figure from then 11 rupees a day to just over 20 rupees a day and said this 28% figure then becomes 77%. Now, obviously, a lot of people lie between, 11 rupees and 20 rupees, 22 rupees. What Tendulkar did was he kept the urban line constant. He put up the rural line to make it consistent with observed price differentials. And he went up to a rural figure of 42% compared to the original Lakdawala official poverty line of 28%. Now, obviously, if we change the numbers a little bit in terms of what the poverty line are, the number of poor also goes up quite considerably.
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone. Fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.